What a finish. Races his way in. Each have a win in their pocket already this season.
He's a winner. He's been to victory lane.
He's fast right now.
Your NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Series champion.
Tell me who do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Who do you love?
All right, well, you saw how the drivers booked their way into the All-Star race, and we can't start this race without driver intros, which are always taken up a notch when it comes to All-Star Weekend. And for that, we have our Jamie Little and Michael Waltrip. They're going to take it away with the honor of introducing the drivers. Jamie, take it away.
From NASCAR on Fox, Jamie Little.
Hey, North Wilkesboro! Are you guys ready to meet your All-Stars?
I am so thankful for each and every one of you. What a great crowd. What a beautiful night. Let's go racing, boys. Coming to you tonight because of you, the fans, starting in the 23rd starting spot in the number 4 Ford. Welcome, Noah Gregson. You voted for him. Give it up. Go get him, Noah.
Punching his ticket into tonight's race by placing second in the NASCAR All-Star Open in the number 42 Family Dollar Toyota, John Hunter Nemechek.
JHN in the house, starting 21st, and your NASCAR All-Star Open winner in the number 77 Grainbridge WNBA All-Star 25 Chevrolet, Carson Osabar.
Caitlin Clark jersey, nice. Rolling off 20th, the 2015 All-Star Race winner in the number 11 Progressive Toyota, it's Denny Hamlin.
He beat all of y'all's favorite drivers in the 2015 All-Star race. Starting in the 19th position, winning the NASCAR All-Star race 3 of the last 6 years in the number 5 Chevrolet, Kyle Larson. Welcome to Wilkesboro, Kyle. Good to have you back.
Making his first ever start in the NASCAR All-Star race, starting 18th in the number 51 Morton Buildings Ford, it's Harrison Burton.
Rolling off 17th in the number 47 Sunny D Chevrolet from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Welcome, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Jr.
Rolling off in the the 16th spot, driving the number 2 Freightliner Ford. His win in Talladega locked him into tonight's race, Austin Cindric. He's got spider moves.
Starting in the number 15th position in the iconic number 3 Dow Salutes veteran Chevrolet from Welcome, North Carolina, Austin Dillon.
Starting in the 14th position in the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota from Mitchell, Indiana, it's Chase Briscoe.
In the 13th position, driving the number 45 Sirius XM Toyota for 2311 Racing, welcome Tyler Reddick.
Starting 12th in the number 99 Freeway Insurance Chevrolet from Monterrey, Mexico. Say hello to Daniel Suarez. So good.
Starting 11th, making his way into the NASCAR All-Star race with his win in Las Vegas in the iconic number 21 Wood Brothers Racing Ford. Welcome, Josh Berry.
Starting in the 10th spot in the number 17 Kroger Tylenol Ford. That's a tongue twister from Prosper, Texas. Say hello to Chris Busher.
Starting in the 9th spot in the number 48 Ally Chevrolet from Tucson, Arizona. Welcome, Alex Bowman.
Starting in the 8th spot, the 2017 All-Star Race winner in the number 8 Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing, it's Kyle Rowdy Busch. Happy birthday, Braxton.
Rolling off in position 7 in the number 12 Menards Wrangler Ford, the 2022 NASCAR All-Star Race winner in Texas, Ryan Blaney. YRB.
Starting 6th in the number 9 Chevrolet for Team Hendrick. He's the 2020 NASCAR All-Star Race winner in Bristol and NASCAR's favorite driver, Chase Elliott. He just shotgunned a Coke and smashing on his head, Michael.
We're getting with it. Starting 5th in the number 24 Valvoline Chevrolet, the current back-to-back Daytona 500 champion. Welcome, William Byron.
Rolling off in the 4th spot, the reigning Cup Series champion and defending NASCAR All-Star Race champion. In the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford, it's Joey Logano.
Starting in the 3rd spot in the number 1 Busch Light Fan Boat Chevrolet, give it up for the Melon Man, Ross Chastain.
Starting on the outside pole in the number 20 Mobil 1 Toyota, tied with the most Cup Series wins this season. Say hello to Christopher Bell.
And starting on the pole, making his 16th All-Star Race appearance, driving the number 6 Solomon Plumbing Ford, welcome Brad Keselowski.
And there you have it, race fans, the starting lineup for tonight's NASCAR All-Star Race right here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Let's go racing!
All right, thanks a lot, Jamie Little. Gotta love the all-star intros. They just bring it up a notch when you get the pit crews out there. You get them throwing stuff out to the fans. So cool to see all that. Let's get to the odds for today's race, or tonight's race. Here are your favorites: Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, William Byron, the top 4 favorites. No surprise there that those are the guys we'll be looking at tonight. And let's take a look at the long shots now. Some people you can win a little money on. How about Josh Berry? He was a fan favorite. Or Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe. Austin Cindric. There's some good names on that list as well that can help you win a little bit of money, but those are what Vegas thinks. How about you guys? Let's get these driver picks. Kevin, you're up first.
You guys know where I'm going. I'm going right to the top of the board with Christopher Bell. So it's the All-Star race. If you're going to be the winner, you might as well pick the best car.
Well, guys, I've been standing next to him all weekend long, Friday night, Saturday night. All he's been telling me is you got to be aggressive on this racetrack. Who's aggressive? The #1 car, Ross Chastain's my pick.
Well, we talked this whole show about people being able to turn their season around. I'm going to go with the pole setter, Brad Keselowski. He's really good last week at Kansas.
Like it.
I thought he had the best car, obviously, in the heat races. If they can put together the whole race, have the right strategy, have the pit road that they need, I think Brad gets it done tonight.
Well, I know you two have to head up to the booth. You're on the call for the race, but before you leave us, let's get some final thoughts, Kevin. What's on top of mind for you?
Yeah, and I just think about the restarts. The aggression that it's going to take to win this race. You have to make something happen. You can't be conservative and make a pass. So that is leaning on somebody, bumping somebody. So you're going to have to be aggressive to win this race.
And there's no time. You have to do it as soon as you catch them. You can't run side by side. We've covered that all weekend long. These tires do not like that. Move them out of the way and go on. But do not beat yourself. Heartbreaker watching SVG dominate that open race early. Caution came out, put 4 tires on, lost that track position, never got it back. If they want to beat you, let them come get you. Don't beat yourself.
All right, well, we appreciate you two gentlemen. Go up there, get on the call for this one, and
race you.
I know who my money's on for that
going.
one. Well, Jamie and myself are going to hang down here for all the action. And by the way, you have another shot to win free money playing Fox Super 6, sponsored by DraftKings. Just open up the Fox Sports app and enter your picks to play along. One of today's questions is, out of these 4 drivers, who will lead the most laps? Is it William Byron, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, or Ross Chastain? Folks, make sure you get in on the action. All right, it's time for us to step aside one more time, but when we get back, Michael Waltrip's got his grid walk. We'll see who he's going to check in with before the All-Star race. Stay tuned.
Hey racing fans, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered on all your NASCAR betting action this season. From race winner to matchups and everything in between. This week, DraftKings has an exclusive offer for racing fans. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code TRACK when you sign up. And you can download Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour podcast on your favorite platform to stay up to date on all the storylines on and off the NASCAR track. The crown is yours.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear since 1925. The Goodyear blimp has been inspiring fans to keep looking up and keep driving forward.
It all started in places like this, on a patch of land, where racing stock cars and running moonshine were one and the same. These rolling green hills belonged to Junior Johnson, Richard Petty, and bootleggers alike. History etched into the grooves that they rode on. This track was born out of love and revived by the same emotion. It's a tie to a time when all there was to do was race. It keeps these folks coming back. Where others saw decay, they saw tradition. A tradition of running free. Nothing is more NASCAR than right here. This is North Wilkesboro.
It certainly is. Well, Michael Waltrip is an all-star race winner. And Michael, congratulations on being the Grand Marshal for today as well. But now it is time for the grid walk. Take it away, buddy.
Thanks, Josh. I've caught up with my buddy Daniel Suarez. The mask during the driver introduction, wonderful. Lucha Libre.
Lucha Libre, amigo. Yeah, you know, that's the free fight. You know, that's exactly what we're going to see here in NASCAR. Is that right, you?
Has he got that translated properly?
He does. Free fight. Let's go.
There you go.
Yeah, actually, a good fan from the West Coast made that actually mask for me as a gift, and it's been a hit since then. And this idea was from my pit crew, so I don't want to take credit on that. I hope fans enjoy it. Look at this crowd, man.
Whoa.
This crowd is amazing. Really looking forward to have some fun with them.
They want some Lucha Libre. They want you to go.
Oh, they're going to, oh, look at this.
Oh, what, the Coke's overflowing. That's okay. Go get them.
Vámonos.
Vámonos. Vámonos. I'm the Grand Marshal, and the only reason why I'm the Grand Marshal is because of your awesome team owners, Eddie, Lynn, Glenn Leonard, the whole Wood family. We had a special night here 29 years ago today. We won the All-Star race in Charlotte, just up the road, driving a car that looks just like this ride. So wanted to say thank you for the team having this car on the track, and it's a great vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, man, the car looks great. We can't thank Deck Imaging enough for letting us do it. And how about we just have the same ending?
I love that. I started further back than you did, so heck, I'm sure you can get there.
Yeah, we're halfway there.
All right, have fun. See you. How about this crowd? Have some fun, folks. See who else we can find. Alex Bowman's up here somewhere. Hey, Alex, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Michael Waltrip with the Grid Walk. I don't know if you knew this or not, but 29 years ago today, I won this race. So, what do you think about that?
It's a pretty big deal. I'm gonna try to win tonight. So yeah, good to see you. Congrats on that win, 29 years later. And yeah, we have an okay Ally 48. We worked hard on it overnight. Hopefully, we're better than we were yesterday.
I'm really curious. What all can you do, and how optimistic are you? I know it's going to be a hell of a battle.
We can't do much, right? So obviously, the first part of the heat race yesterday, we were really, really bad. And the second part, we got much better. So if we can make that big of an improvement on a pit stop, hopefully we can make improvements overnight. But yeah, our hands are a little bit tied. But if you're going to try something, try it at the All-Star race. Hopefully it goes good.
That's a good-looking ride you got there. See who we can find next. Oh, there's the baby. Hello. Oh, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I was being careful around the baby. Hi, baby. How you doing?
Hi.
Say hi. How you doing, Brex? Is happy birthday in line?
Yep.
Hey. Wow, happy birthday, buddy. How old are you?
So right now I'm 10.
Yeah, cool. How you doing, Dad?
I'm ready to go.
What a beautiful family.
It is, absolutely. It's a great time to be in North Carolina, beautiful time of year, ready to go out here and win $1 million.
Well, how about this crowd? I mean, it's sold out. Marcus Smith, the whole family does a great job promoting and selling the All-Star race. Now you guys just got to go run over each other, I guess.
I tell you what, the revival that came about from Dale Jr. years ago and bringing this place back to life, I never imagined we'd see it this way, and we saw it last year, and it's been amazing. So great job to everyone involved, and we're looking forward to blowing away the competition today with our Scenic Chevrolet.
I got you. I got you there. That was nice. Here's see what Blaney's doing. Usually I walk off and he runs. How you doing?
Well, he's the one you want to interview.
Oh yeah, how you been, Ray?
Hey buddy, how you?
Ray Fox Jr. Hey, fun doing TV with you.
Yeah, thanks. I had a lot of fun with you and Jamie yesterday, and should be even better night tonight.
Should be fun. What kind of strategy can we look for you out of you guys tonight?
Go to the front and win.
That's interesting. Let's see what Chase Elliott's doing. Hey, bud, how you doing? My pants are kind of loose.
I'll leave you with that one.
Yeah, that wasn't very cool. The Prime's coming to TV. It's really cool y'all are here.
It is, yeah. Next week, May 25th, first race on Prime. So we're excited. I hope we have a good show tonight. We'll see.
Me too. Appreciate it. Josh, that's it for me down here on pit road. Maybe forever.
Always appreciate you, Michael Waltrip. Well, hey, Jamie, you've won this thing before. You've experienced that $1 million. You didn't give any to me. That's cool. But what could we expect out there tonight?
Well, as I think about leading up to today, it's all about fun. Now you put your helmet on, it gets serious, and somebody's going to get to race for $1 million tonight. I hope we get to see what we've been waiting for, but again, it's a lot of unknowns heading into tonight. When's that final caution going to fall? Can you have the right strategy, and can you make the right restart?
All right, well, we're closing in on the green flag dropping. Can't do that without opening ceremonies, so let's stay trackside as we get set for the race.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as you are able and remove your hats. And veterans render a hand salute as the North Carolina State Highway Patrol Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome Faith Best Ministries founder and CEO, Craig Church.
Let us pray. Father, we humbly bow in your presence and thanking you for Speedway Motorsports and North Wilkesboro Speedway. I pray your safety over the all-star race and all the drivers. But Father, most of all, I want to thank you for Jesus Christ, who died for our sins, was buried, and 3 days later rose again, that whosoever will repent and believe, the gospel will be saved. And Lord, I speak Jesus over this place. I speak Jesus over every person. I speak Jesus over families. Jesus over marriages, Jesus over addiction, Jesus over the lost, the broken, and the hurting. Lord, have mercy on us, I pray. Have your way in each and every life. I love you, Jesus, and I pray this prayer in the most precious and powerful name I know, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, country music singer and songwriter from Wilkes County, Presley Barker.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Out here, the difference between myths and legends is who leaves with the cash.
Drivers, start your engine!
The best in the sport with $1 million on the line.
Cowboy up, $1 million on the line. These boys are going for it.
There's no friends.
Kyle Busch will pay you back, and here it comes. Oh, boy!
Straight up wrecked him.
We've got a fight going on.
Just competition to leave in the dust.
Trouble, turn one. Pow.
Checker flag.
$1 million.
It's the All-Star Race at North Wilkesboro.
Welcome to the NASCAR Cup Series All-Star Race on FS1. Presented by Brent's Tree. Well, after 2 days of qualifying, heat races, and the All-Star Open, it's finally here. 23 drivers will line up for 250 laps. And a new wrinkle, the optional promoter's caution, eligible to be thrown before lap 220. And the winner receives $1 million. Second place pays about 10% of that. This place is packed. North Wilkesboro Speedway right alongside the highway US 421, and this place is full. Welcome back, everybody. Mike Joy with two-time All-Star winner Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer, a veteran of 11 All-Star races, but none in a place like this.
No, absolutely not. Track position. If we've learned anything this weekend, Kevin, all my theories are out the window. About the time you think you're onto something, something else happens. 2 tires, 4 tires, the combination of the strategies within the pits. That is going to be the name of the game. Make sure you make the right call at the right time. We need this track position, baby.
Well, you may want track position, and you're going to get it if you're good on the restarts. You're going to have all the tire strategy and all the things that happen here right off the bat, but the restarts, you've got to make something happen quick. I believe they've seen all the races leading up to this point. You're going to have to be aggressive. You're going to have to lean on them. You're going to have to push them out of the way. You can't worry about what might happen. You're going to have to do it quickly, because if you don't, those tires are going to get hot and you're going to go the other direction.
Can't wait, Mike.
All right, Progressive Banking, where is the groove going to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, in 1 and 2, it's up at the top of the racetrack. I think it depends on how far you run. I think the groove will push up right next to the wall through the middle of the corner. I still think that low and middle lane through 1 and 2 is an option, but we keep seeing this groove move up in 3 and 4 as they run further down the line. But you're going to have to be versatile, and you're going to have to be creative. And a lot of guys that do that, like Larson, Reddick, a lot of these guys that push those grooves around, it'll be interesting to see how they make their way through the pack.
Now, what we haven't seen tonight anyway is when this track cools off, what that means about that, preferred line around here. It will change as this place cools off through the night.
4 tires, though, will make you feel like Superman, at least for a while.
It'll make you feel like Superman, but you better have some track position to go along 100%. With it. We saw SVG in the open race take that dominant car out front, put himself in the middle of the pack, and couldn't make anything of it anymore. So tires were better at the end of the race when the left side tires had more laps on them, but didn't seem like anybody could make up ground if they got themselves hung up in the middle of the pack.
All right, Clint, Brad Keselowski, he has had a horrible season so far, but he's had a dream weekend so far, winning the pole, winning his heat race. Does it continue?
Well, my counterpart here, he's been all over it. It started with Logano last year. He used this All-Star win to compel him right into a championship for him in Phoenix. That can happen to Brad. Momentum started to shift last weekend in Kansas, and now we're here. Fast race car again, starting up front. Let's keep it up there, Brad.
Christopher Bell on the outside pole. Got a great starting spot, or maybe inside after the choose. We'll see if he leads the early laps. But right now, let's go trackside in North Wilkesboro.
And now, here to say the most famous words in motorsports, celebrating 75 years of Wood Brothers Racing, please welcome John Wood and Fox's own.
Drivers, start your engines.
John Wood with the command, Len Wood on the flag stand, Eddie Wood driving the safety car. We're ready to go.
Buckle up, because the NASCAR Cup Series is headed to the historic North Wilkesboro Speedway for All-Star Race Weekend. The track, located in North Carolina, opened its doors back in 1947. NASCAR announced its return to the track in 2023, and now fans look forward to an exciting 4-day schedule filled with thrilling races, live concerts, and fun challenges. Drivers battled their way into today's field, but now they'll have to face an even bigger obstacle, the track's unique layout. The small oval features narrow, tight corners that leave little room for side-by-side racing. Many cautions will come from there simply not being enough room for 3-wide racing. With so little room for error, drivers will need to choose their passes wisely. Those who fall off the pace can lose sight of the leader quickly. If that isn't challenging enough, drivers will also have to account for the track's uneven elevation. They'll drive uphill on the backstretch before shifting downhill, heading into turns 1 and 2. This makes braking, accelerating, and keeping control of the car even more difficult. Tire management will also be a key in today's race. Even with multiple repays over the years, the track's surface remains extremely abrasive, leading to rapid tire wear. Pit crews will play a crucial role. Executing fast, efficient stops can make all the difference in gaining track position. We had the chance to catch up with Todd Gilliland, who shared just how much he loves racing at North Wilkesboro Speedway.
I think there's tons of stuff that is very unique about North Wilkesboro Speedway. The first year we went there had probably the oldest pavement I've ever driven on, and now it's freshly repaved, but it still races very wide, which is awesome. So I always thought it was just an old tale of, you're going downhill into turn 1, uphill into turn 3, but you can definitely feel the difference.
In last year's All-Star race, Joey Logano put on a dominating performance, leading most of the race. Will Logano go back-to-back at North Wilkesboro? Or will another driver step up to the challenge? Let's find out.
Welcome back to the NASCAR All-Star Race presented by Brevstree. All right, let's get a word with our pole sitter.
Hey, Brad. Kevin up in the booth with the Fox guys. You got your car up front tonight. What's it going to take to keep it up there and win $1 million?
Yeah, Kevin, good to see you guys. All-Star night, a lot of fun here. We got the ECU theme on the car, and the guys have been calling it the pirate ship all weekend, but so far it's been more like a rocket ship. So just got to set sail here when you have the clean air, make it count, and get these pit stops, timing and all that just right. And we've got a good enough car to go in.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's have a look at the starting lineup presented by Brevstree. You've heard from Brad Kozlowski from Rochester Hills, Michigan. On the front row with Christopher Bell from Norman, Oklahoma. Row 2, Alva, Florida's Ross Chastain, and Middletown, Connecticut's Joey Logano.
Row 3, we've got Charlotte, North Carolina's William Byron and Dawsonville, Georgia's Chase Elliott. Row 4, from High Point, North Carolina, Ryan Blaney, and Las Vegas, Nevada's Kyle Busch.
How about row 5, Tucson, Arizona's own Alex Bowman. Prosper, Texas on his outside, Chris Buescher. Row 11, Hendersonville, Tennessee, that be, Josh Berry. How about Daniel Suarez from Monterrey, Mexico?
Corning, California's Tyler Reddick, and Mitchell, Indiana's Chase Briscoe in the 7th row. Row 8 from Welcome, Austin Dillon, and from Mooresville, Austin Cindric.
Row 9, Olive Branch, Mississippi's Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Huntersville, North Carolina, Harrison Burton. Next row from Elk Grove, California, Kyle Larson, and Chesterfield, Virginia's Denny Hamlin.
The next row, Carson Hocevar and John Hunter Nemechek. Rounding up the last row, he is thanking his fans all the way to the bank, Noah Gregson. Let's see what he has.
Let's check with Regan Smith.
Well, Mike, in last night's heat races, Christopher Bell was extremely dominant in heat race number 2, so much so that it led him to that second-place starting position by winning that heat race. Crew Chief Adam Stevens, though, is not taking any of that for granted. He told me tonight it's a completely different animal, different temperatures, different track conditions, more cars on the track, and potentially getting buried in the field at some point if they're not careful with strategy. Plenty for them to think about, but if they can do that, they expect that they will find their way back to the front later on tonight. Jamie?
Regan, it has been a dramatic week for Kyle Larson, and as he spent all of his time up in Indianapolis qualifying for the Indianapolis 500, and he admitted just now when he got on the ground, he said, I haven't had a chance to think about this race until this morning, but he met with his team, talked to his crew chief, Cliff Daniels. Cliff said, we're confident in what we have. As you see a practice crash on Friday by Kyle Larson, obviously he's okay. He was able to get back out and qualify 21st. Justin Allgaier, though, was in the Cup car on Friday and practiced it. Cliff Daniels told me they're confident in the adjustments they made. Kyle starting back in 19th, guys. Watch for him to make a move. He wants to win his 4th All-Star race here, Mike.
Thanks, Jamie. Busch Light's giving you a chance to win $1,000 tonight. Follow at Busch Beer on X and enter using hashtag Busch All for One, Busch, and hashtag sweepstakes during every lap that ends in a 1 to enter. Now let's check with Larry McReynolds with our Toyota Tech car.
Tracks we've raced at the last month or so are intermediate tracks with a couple of back-to-back 1.5 mile tracks. Let's show you aero differences in the rear of the car from an intermediate to a short track like North Wilkesboro. Intermediate, 1,600 pounds of rear downforce with that 4-inch tall rear spoiler. Here at a short track, the spoiler is only 3 inches tall. The other difference is the rear diffuser. This is the intermediate full rear diffuser. Look at all the strakes and the fins. At a short track, a simple rear diffuser, only 2 strakes or fins. That takes that 1,600 pounds of rear downforce, reduces it by 35% to 1,050 pounds in the rear. Makes the car looser, handling's more of a challenge, a lot less grip in the rear tires. John Hunter Nemechek's Toyota Camry, and one other difference between the two aero package, with the full rear diffuser at the intermediates, they lower the car as low to the racetrack as possible, seal that rear diffuser off. That makes full rear downforce. But with a simple rear diffuser, like here at North Wilkesboro, and only a 3-inch tall rear spoiler, they get the back of the car up to try to get as much air to that 3-inch spoiler as they possibly can. That creates the downforce back in it. Now, one other difference is the wake of the car here at a short track. I'm not going to say it's better or worse, but I do know clean air will be king.
Thanks, Larry. Now tonight, Chevrolet, Ford, and Toyota are battling head-to-head in the Manufacturers Showdown. For this race within a race, manufacturer teams of the 5 highest qualified cars are scored against just each other, not the entire field. The lowest total finishing positions for one make will determine the winner of the NASCAR Manufacturer Showdown. We'll keep up with that during the night. Well, for the Open, 84 degrees ambient, 120 degree track temp now at 78 degrees, and the track has cooled quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's going to make a huge difference. That track temperature right there going down 30 degrees. That's going to change the way these tires heat up, and that seems to be the biggest, I guess, culprit of what the car does and how it slows down. So having that track temp down definitely makes these tires last longer.
Well, and it gives them grip. Essentially, that's just going to give them grip on this racetrack, which makes them go faster. And when they go faster, it's going to make it probably even more hard to pass. That's why I think, in my mind, aggression is going to be the name of the game. You look over there riding along with Christopher Bell with his Toyota car. You see that number 6. He is hungry. We just talked to him, Kevin. You talked to him. But if he's going to win this race, he's going to have to go through this Bell. This car was extremely fast in that second heat.
All 250 laps will count tonight. Overtime rules are in effect. There will be a competition all-star caution around lap 100. And there's the optional promoter's caution we mentioned earlier. One added wrinkle. The winner must take the checkered flag under the green flag. Here's some radio from William Byron.
And let's get this an all-star win. Appreciate all the effort this weekend. I know it's been a long one, so you guys have kept with it and kept building. So let's go get $1 million tonight.
23 cars, $1 million on the line. Pace car is in. Keselowski and Bell address themselves to the starting line, and we're underway.
Yeah, and you saw Christopher Bell try to roll that start right there, and Brad Keselowski was like, no, no, no. I'm going to wait until you back up 3 wide for a brief second right there.
Bell did a good job starting on this bottom. That's hard to do with this racetrack. Whoa, they're into each other. Now Logano to the inside. Here we go.
They want it all, and they want it now.
Yeah, they know how important it is to try to get everything that you can as quick as you can on these restarts. So you're seeing that aggression level right off the bat.
Chase Elliott to the outside of Bell. Here he comes. Longer race right now, the All-Star race versus anything we've seen. Probably lower air, I would think, taking off. You're going to see these cars swirling around.
Yeah, and when you see those cars move around like that off of turn 4, that's just the low air pressure and everything that they have going on right now, but they're 3 wide.
They don't really again into the corner.
They don't really care about this exit. They know that they got to take some chances tonight to win this money.
And Logano pops out in second, and here comes Elliott around his outside.
I like the way Elliott's rolling this outside of the racetrack. He's in the preferred line.
William Byron takes 4th from Christopher Bell.
Bell's car did not take off very well. It's exactly what your leader, Keselowski, wants to see. These cars racing side by side. Go ahead and heat them things up, boys. I'm going to take off and lead you.
Yeah, and as well as that 22 car is taking off, he's going to get himself clear right here, I believe, Clint.
Chase Elliott started 6th and has made a lot of ground on the outside. Now battling his Hendrick Chevy teammate, Byron, to the inside for 3rd.
Do not let him get to your outside.
And here comes Logano for the lead.
That 22 car has really good drive off the corner currently.
Hold him down, Brad. That's what you're going to have to do. Let him wear his stuff out.
Joey Logano makes no bones about it. On the racetrack, I'm selfish, he says, and he's going for the lead.
Joey knows it's a matter of time. I cannot ride down here very long. These tires get hot. We've watched it in the heat races, the open. You got to go now. Be aggressive. Make it quick.
Byron secures 3rd from Elliott, with Bell 5th and Chastain, Busch, and Buescher.
I think he got into him just a little bit. That's what you can't afford. Byron getting to your outside.
Well, he's there.
But Keselowski doing a great job of holding on to the lead.
And we saw him do this the other night in the heat races as well. And
even
every
on
lap,
tires.
Yeah, every lap that goes by for Joey Logano, it's going to become harder and harder. So at some point, he's going to have to decide if he wants to fall in line and defend or keep heating those tires up on the bottom.
William Byron doesn't want to wait to see what Logano does. He wants to move forward on the outside.
You see that car of Logano's jump right there.
Yeah, there's a big bump on the exit of 4, and when you're down there on the bottom, you hit that thing with a little bit of wheel in it, the car's going to get sideways. Fantastic racing so far. Love it.
Last year, Logano led 199 of 200 laps. Brad Keselowski led the other one. 250 laps this year. And it's still undecided for the lead, and they trade a little paint, or wrap, if you will.
You got to use every square inch of the space available to that car beside you, and sometimes a little bit more. It is so hard to finish that pass off of turn 2.
Ross Chastain moves up to 5th over Bell and Busch, well back of this front 4, and now Elliott wants more.
Yeah, you saw Chase Elliott go as low as anybody there in turns 1 and 2 and able to get that drive off the corner.
Biggest mover is Kyle Larson. He's gained 4 spots from the back. Great battle here for the lead. 4 cars under a blanket, just what you want to see on a short track.
Yeah,
still there.
The progressive banking of this racetrack is what provides this. You know, Brad's using that banking on the outside to get his car rotate, see him roll up. He'll kind of diamond the corner and come back down and take that exit away from Logano. That's what makes it so challenging to make and complete a pass at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, and if Logano can just get a half a car length at some point, that's when you start to see him slide up the racetrack and try to take that lane away.
Well, this is the kind of racing that has packed this place tonight. For this 250 lapper, winner take almost all. $1 million for the winner, about $100 grand for second place, and no one will remember who finished 3rd.
Yeah, and this racetrack is going to do nothing but keep getting better and better. This asphalt was new last year. It's aged a bunch this year. We've seen the groove really widen out. Goodyear's done a great job bringing the soft tires. You see Logano dive back out down underneath that 6 car.
He's certainly faster than him, but he can't get in that preferred line. And you can see on the exit of turn 2 how that progressive banking enhances that outside. Flat on the bottom makes it challenging to get your car rotated. It also is hard on those tires.
16 Green flag laps complete, working to complete 17 this time by, and you won't miss a thing as we go Fox side by side. Great short track racing in the All-Star event. Kozlowski leading Logano. Cindric and Suarez side by side for 12th. And the lap times right now from the front to the back of the field differ by only 3.5 tenths of a second. You can play the Fox Super 6 NASCAR Challenge by downloading the Fox Sports app and enter for free for a shot to win cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. "26 laps complete. First and second, nose to tail. Byron in the rocking chair in third by himself. Elliott and Bell battle for the fourth spot.
Brad got a little loose on the exit of 4, Kevin.
Yeah, I like that line that Logano took right there. Kind of rolled up the racetrack, made a small diamond in 3 and 4, and you saw, and we've been talking about Joey Logano's car. It has really good drive and turn in the middle of the corner, but it has really good drive up off.
That loose on the exit was a snappy loose. In other words, I think Brad's car is a little bit tight rolling the center. You can see Logano is able to get to the throttle just a beat quicker than him. But Brad still has that banking on the outside. If this 22 ever gets by him, look out Sunset. That's where he's headed.
2 veterans, 2 champions, one of whom, Logano, has won the All-Star race.
Yeah, it looked like Logano got tight right there in the middle of 3 and 4. Had to get out of the throttle.
And Byron's coming. Front 5 have pulled away from Ross Chastain. Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney side by side. That's for 7th place. And Blaney a little loose there. Had a chance.
Yeah, and this is usually the time that 12 car starts to roll as you get later into these runs. So we've run 30 laps, but see that right front brake? Yeah, glowing like crazy on the right front of that 12 car. A lot of times they'll split those brake pads in these cars, the compounds in the pads themselves, so that when you hit the brakes, it almost makes up for being a little bit loose in the corner. So when you see that right front glow like that, we've seen these Penske cars before be really aggressive on that brake pad split to keep the car from getting loose as you apply that brake pressure.
Boy, it really magnifies the difference between lines, though, down in turns 1 and 2 as Blaney sends it into turn 3. Here's some radio from Kyle Busch.
When they run the bottom, they're keeping their right front below that patch. That patch has so much rubber buildup, they're sliding. Keep it below it, they're able to hook it better.
Now you see Ryan Blaney make that move. That patch that they're talking about down in 3 and 4, that rubber's actually, I mean, it started the weekend there caked on to that patch. They never cleaned that off the racetrack, and it's just done nothing but take more rubber. So
Blaney up to 7th. And here is Kyle Larson, the HendrickCars.com cam. Larson started 23rd. He's worked his way up 5 spots.
Yeah, and this is in Larson's wheelhouse. I know he hasn't made up a ton of ground, but as these cars start to slow down a little bit, they haven't slowed down as much as we would hope that they would have, but as this groove moves around, that's really when Larson will start to shine. I'm sure it's taken him some time just in how he sits in the car and all the differences from the IndyCar. No, I can't.
I mean, let alone you haven't made a lap on this racetrack, but you got out of a space shuttle into one of these things.
All right, Blaney's caught Ross Chastain for 6th.
Yeah, and with all the speed that SVG had and the way that Ross looked in that race yesterday, I thought he would fire off pretty good right here, but now we're seeing that 12 car start to make a little bit of ground as all these guys get tight, move up the racetrack. He's still able to run lower on the track than most everybody.
I don't think anybody's passed as many cars in the Fox portion of the NASCAR season as Ryan Blaney this year. Jamie?
Brad Keselowski, as he continues to lead here, what a season it has been for him, and not in a good way. They don't even have a top 10. Yesterday they came out, they were the fastest car, won the heat race. I talked to Jeremy Bullins and Brad. They both said this is a shot in the arm. Yes, it's just a heat race, but we will take it. And this is the second week they feel like they have the best car. They said if we could turn our momentum around and win this all-star race, what a win it'll be for our season so far. And guys, 17th try, he's never won it before. Can you imagine?
Well, he's a 3-time runner-up and leads all winless drivers in laps led at the All-Star race.
Well, the only thing he's done all weekend long is lead, and that's where I want to keep that car. Do not give up the track position. I don't know how you do that, Larry and Mac, but don't get me out of the lead with this 6 car.
Well, he's done a good job so far of keeping that car up in that high line and keeping the momentum. That's been his best defense so far, Mike.
Joey Logano's led 2. Brad Keselowski's led 40. It's All-Star Night on FS1. Welcome back to the NASCAR Cup Series All-Star Race on FS1, presented by Brez Tree. Aerial coverage presented by Goodyear. Since 1925, the Goodyear blimp inspiring fans to keep looking up and keep driving forward. That's what Kyle Larson is doing. He is up to 15th place. He was 3 wide on the bottom a couple of laps ago to make a double pass.
Yeah, and you see him up above that hash mark in 3 and 4 right there. That's where he was making a lot of his time, and unfortunately Austin Dillon has moved up into his lane, so he was clipping a couple of them off for a couple laps there, and then everybody started to move up and venture into this same lane.
Doing Larson things, isn't he? Up 8 positions. Here we come.
Meanwhile, Carson Hocevar was trying to run right with Larson in his tire tracks, but ended up against the wall while trying that. Here's a look at it.
Yeah, you're going to see him get behind the 19 car and just kind of lose track of where he is. Just too high on the entry, kind of clipped that wall and hung the car up into those marbles and didn't hit it too hard, but just lost everything that he had just worked to move forward with.
Yeah, put Hocevar back to 19th.
Yeah, when that groove moves up like that and you know it's moving up the racetrack, you want to be right next to the gray. And right now the gray has the marbles and the dust and everything in it. So the only way to move it up is just an inch or 2 at a time with multiple cars. So, 99 flat.
Suarez in the wall. Caution.
And that was the nick of the time. If you're Brad Keselowski, we're starting to get into lap traffic, and that was going to give you a challenge.
Yeah, right.
Perfect timing.
Right front flat there on the 99.
Definitely need right side left.
I think that was Brad you heard on that radio saying we definitely need right sides.
Well, we've run 57 laps, so I'd say it'll be a mixed bag of things that happen right here on pit road.
Watch the 99.
There it went. Oh, no.
Yeah, just right front tire went down in the middle of the corner. So
it kind of came off of 4 a little bit weird going down the front straightaway, as if he felt something that he didn't like. Got in a corner and started to turn and let go, didn't it? That'll shake things up, guys. This is opportunity zone for some of these guys. Not what they wanted to see for others.
Larry Mack?
Yeah, Mike, you know, we've run right at 60 laps, close to it. I don't see anybody staying out here. But what you could do here is you could get you 4, and that may open an option up when we get that caution on or around lap 100, because remember, we're probably not going to go back racing until about 30 to 35 to go until they throw that next caution. So doing it here, getting the 4 here, could change your option for that next caution.
yeah, and the thing that does is we saw in the heat race when you got more tires on those left side tires, then the 4 tires really made a difference.
Well, everybody wants something. Regan.
Mike Joey Logano in the 22 car fired off very good, as we saw there, but he made mention that at the end of the run he felt like the right front started to go away, like it was starting to lose some grip. 4 tires for Joey in the 9 car of Chase Elliott. Felt like he could move around a lot, but he needed more turn with the fronts. Jamie.
William Byron in the 24, his teammate, little free to start, tight building as they ran. Meanwhile, this 6 of Brad Keselowski, they called the code word, and he also said just 6 gallons of fuel. There he is in the 6. Good fast stop for them.
And away he goes with, I believe, just right side tires for Keselowski.
Yeah, William Byron did the same thing and got a little bit lucky with the traffic of the 19 right there. Almost couldn't get out of his pit box, but they made it work.
Quite a traffic jam. Well, it's short track racing. Next weekend, the greatest spectacle in racing, the 109th Indianapolis 500, comes to Fox. Joseph Newgarden going for what would be an historic three-peat. Nobody's ever won 3 500s in a row, but coverage begins at 10 a.m. Eastern next Sunday on Fox.
Well, if you need me next week, just call. I know where I'll be.
Pace car is in.
I'm going to be glued to the television because that one's going to be a good one. Those guys are got their hands full in them babies.
All right, coming to the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Brad Keselowski, William Byron will fire off for the restart. 62 laps complete.
That's twice that Brad's done that. He's waited for that inside car to roll just a little bit, wait for him to check up, and then take off.
Kyle Busch trying to get his outside. He's there.
Kyle Busch right there, hunting the lead 3 wide.
This is the first time Brad's had somebody his outside. He's in trouble. Is he going to show aggression
Still in the
here?
middle. Nothing behind the 8. Still in the middle. Still middle. There you go. Still middle.
That is TJ Majors, Keselowski's spotter, and he's in the midst of a hornet's nest.
How about this? 3 wide for the lead. Kyle Busch to your front. Here we go. Still not clear.
Byron from the bottom trying to get clear going into 3. And he sends it and gets it. William Byron to the front.
Well, you saw exactly what you don't want to do right there. You do not want to let somebody to that right rear, Clint. Brad let the 8 car of Kyle Busch get there, and he had to give him a lane.
Now Logano going after Kyle Busch.
This is the first time Brad's been in traffic all weekend long. That car has been up front, clean track position. I think it'll be tight, Kevin. That thing won't turn as good as it did up front.
Christopher Bell got squeezed between Chase Elliott and Keselowski, but emerges behind the 8 car for 4th.
And we saw,
whoa, close call here.
We saw this in the heat race. See that 9 bounce around. But we saw this in the heat race. Brad's on 2 tires, but once you lose that track position, it makes it extremely hard. And honestly, I don't feel like Brad had the fastest car, so losing that track position is going to be tough to overcome.
Now for the lead, Byron took 2 tires, Logano took 4. How much of a difference will that make?
And you know when Kyle Busch is behind you on a restart, man, Byron almost got in the fence right there through 1 and 2. You know when Kyle Busch is behind you, he's going to do something. That guy's very aggressive, tons of experience. Got to his outside and pounced on the opportunity, but that opportunity ended up being Byron's.
Yeah, Kyle Busch took off really good. He got into the fence there on the back straightaway the last lap, but Kyle Busch kind of caught me off guard, kind of came out of nowhere.
He didn't. You're not the only one. Brad Keselowski was definitely.
Christopher Bell guns it for 3rd on the bottom. Kyle Busch up in the preferred groove, but cannot hold off Bell. Looking back from our Toyota cam.
Yeah, and a lot of times when those cars take off like that for the first 2 or 3 laps, it's almost bad news as to where it's going to trend from there.
Let's have a look at our Chevrolet team update with William Byron leading. Kyle Busch in 4th. Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Alex Bowman.
Let's see how good these 2 tires hold on. Logano was your first car on 4 tires. Byron on 2.
Teammates here. Kyle Larson trying to move up on Alex Bowman. This is for 12th place.
Still there. Still in 21.
That's Josh Berry to the outside. Bowman holds the spot, and now Berry on the outside trying to stall Larson's run.
Yeah, and we really saw that 5 car take off the last run when we got a bunch of laps on the tires, and then he started pushing the groove up. So hasn't been able to make up a lot of ground on the fresher tires, but we've got a battle for the lead right here.
It ain't just amongst 2 of them. Add Christopher Bell's name to that list.
Well, Joey Logano's been the best on the bottom all night.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he's as friendly to this 24 car on the inside as he was to a fellow Ford.
Regan?
Mike, you'll see right behind the first and second place car, Christopher Bell in third right there. Started the race off very loose, didn't have any drive off in the corner. And as the last caution came out, told the crew chief Adam Stevens, I have lost a substantial amount of lateral grip, meaning side grip, since yesterday. They were able to make an adjustment. One more thing to look at, he complained about brake fade already that first run as we've seen some rotors glowing.
And it's Logano to the lead. Byron is the only car in the top 5 that took just 2 tires on the pit stop, as he and Logano traded back and forth lap after lap.
Man, brake fade. I'll tell you why. 20 car really getting in the corner deep in both ends, Kev.
Yeah, and that's not uncommon when you have, you know, the way that they run these brake pads in these cars with that split, with the way that you can use the brake pedals and be hard, as you're going to see Joey Logano clear that 24 car, I believe, here shortly.
And on the right, Keselowski slips back to 8th as Austin Cindric gets by.
Got it.
That's bad news for the rest of the field, I believe.
Last year, Joey Logano led all but 1 lap. The race was only 200 laps long. Tonight it's 250.
I'm not going to hand it to Logano yet. This 20 car is pretty sporty.
William Byron reporting he is loose after just the 2-tire change.
Yeah, and I think that's been a little bit of a mixed bag as well on who's been loose, who's been tight, and almost a shift through the run. Larry was telling us during the break that a lot of guys started loose, wound up keeping that entry and exit loose to the corner, and wound up tight in the middle of the corner. So definitely all over the place. And now that you put 2 tires on some of these cars, definitely will change the handling. And let's not forget, it's getting cooler.
Yes.
That racetrack is going to continue to cool down.
Brad Keselowski continuing to slide. Here's Ross Chastain to his inside. Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman closing in.
Well, that's certainly the problem with putting 2 tires on. If you lose that track position, you get mired back in traffic and no longer have that upper hand. You lose the upper hand, you're in big trouble. That's what you're seeing with the 6 car.
Especially when most of the cars have 4 tires on.
83 complete. We expect the competition caution around lap 100, 16 laps from now. Kyle Busch, after a run at the lead, he is now in 6th place, trying to hold back Austin Cindric.
Yeah, and Austin Cindric looked really good on the longer runs in the first run of this race, so it's not surprising that he would start to make a little bit of ground up as we go through the second half of this run towards halfway.
Boy, they are double wide there, and for the next 3-4 rows behind them. A lot of great short track racing here at North Wilkesboro.
This is as wide of a groove as we've seen on a short track in quite some time.
And I know I've said it before, Clint, but this racetrack is only going to get better as it ages, and I think it's going to continue to widen out as we run this race if we get green flag laps. So there's still some room to be able to make that lane get a little bit wider in 3 and 4. And really, when that starts to happen is when these cars start to get tighter.
And Kyle Busch is able to fight off Austin Cindric, at least for the moment, for 6th place. Still, the lap times have hardly fallen off. The leader in the 1890s go back to 20th place, and there's still 1920s, still about a 3/10 difference from the front of the field to the back. That's why you see all this side-by-side racing as 2 of those Camaros go at it. Byron and Elliott for 3rd.
This is about as much brake blowing on the Gen 7 car as I've ever seen, Kevin, on any short track.
Yeah, we see a lot of this at Richmond. But you know, with the way that turn 1 is shaped here and how much you get loose under braking, you go into turn 1, kind of a flatter corner, and as you wait for that banking to ramp back up, so it's downhill as well. So this corner right here in turn 1, right there, the cars want to get loose, so they have to crutch them by splitting those brake pads, which makes them brake glow to the right front.
Larry Mack, we're about 8 laps away from the All-Star caution.
Yeah, Mike, and all those drivers that change 4 tires, they'll have about 35 to 40 laps on their tires. I've seen enough now with changing just 2 tires, knowing how much more of this race we still have to run, I think this caution would be a good time to reset for everybody and get those 4 fresh tires. I don't want to do 4 tires late in the race and give up track position.
Thanks, Larry. Blaney in 4th, Byron 5th. Behind Logano, Bell, and Elliott.
Slowly but surely getting there, just like we've seen all year long so far, this 12 car.
Joey Logano right where he was last year with a clear view in front of that Ford Performance Cam on his Penske Mustang.
Hear how early you have to lift, almost just right past the start and finish line. Run up that hill. Joey's actually down the racetrack a little bit compared to a lot of the guys on the bottom of this racetrack. So you have to dodge that bump right there when you're running the top, when you're running the bottom, and let that car come up the racetrack a little bit earlier than what you want to off of turn 4.
5 laps to go to the lap 100 when we expect that caution flag. Larson's tried the bottom. He's tried the top. Unable to get by Austin Dillon. Now battling Reddick, Briscoe, Gregson. And not without contact.
Oh, yeah. See that 21 car and the 3 car make contact down the front straightaway. Larson tries to shoot into the bottom lane.
Well, they batted it up in his lap.
Larson in 13th.
It's unique with the Gen 7 car too. As you listen riding along with Kyle, you don't hear a shift this weekend, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's ideal for what everybody wants short track racing to be with this car is to not have to shift. You get in between some of those gears at Martinsville and places with the options that we have for the transaxle. So it's definitely pretty much ideal. When you run fast here, you'll just barely touch the chip at the end of the front straightaway.
Here's been one of the best battles on the racetrack, and it's raged on ever since we last showed it to you. Kyle Busch on the outside, Austin Cindric on the inside. The starter has the caution flag in hand as we cross through lap 100. And everybody's looking at the back of the field. So we'll see when they come by, if indeed this becomes the all-star caution lap. Joey Logano with a 1-second lead.
I'll put it out. This is the all-star caution.
And there it is. Busch was able to hold off Cindric. Bowman was able to hold off Dillon. Had a lot of good battles all the way through the pack. But Joey Logano, once he fought his way to the front for the 3rd time, he led 2 laps earlier. He's now been in front for, I think, the last 22 laps ever since the restart after the caution for Daniel Suarez at lap 57.
Well, he did a great job being patient, working his way through traffic. I keep telling Clint, I feel like you need to be a little more aggressive, but it's worked out for Joey. He's not made anybody mad, hadn't had really lean on anybody yet.
Now that last shot we had, that's one of the best jobs in racing, operating the manual scoreboard that still exists at a few short tracks around the country, and particularly the one here in turn 3 at North Wilkesboro.
Now,
somebody's got to count the laps, somebody's got to handle all the positions.
Are you sure it's the best job? As much as I appreciate it, I don't know. It seems pretty busy.
I always like being the announcer.
Here we go.
Pit road is open. And all takers. Regan.
Well, it could be bad news for the competition. Joey Logano told the team, the car is fine. I have no complaints. It's really good. Just leave it alone. In the 20 car, Christopher Bell, way more rear grip with the adjustments that they made that time for him. Still needs more turn into the corner, though. Jamie?
William Byron in the 24. After that last stop, he took rights. He led 12 laps, slipped back to 5th. Said he's a little loose on just right side tires. The call here, 4 for the 24.
You see right there, Christopher Bell is in front of the 22 car, Joey Logano. So great pit stop by that 20 team.
And Bell wins the race off pit road. And as Larry pointed out, looks like just about everybody got 4 tires. 147 laps to go on the short track at North Wilkesboro.
To North Wilkesboro, Josh Sims and Jamie McMurray were on the lift. That's going to take one fortunate driver up to victory lane. I got the $1 million check here.
I like it.
I'll have to hand that over, I think. But either way, what's your takeaway from the first 100 laps we've seen so far?
Yeah, well, tires have been more important than what we expected. I was shocked to see how much better 4 tires was versus 2. But I would tell you, Josh, be cautious of that at the end of this, because it seems like when you get to the end of the races, somebody can always take that chance. It seems like they can make their car a little wider when they need to.
All right, well, I guess we got to get this $1 million check back, but let's send it back up to the guys in the booth. Take it away, Mike.
Thanks, Josh. Here's our Manufacturer Showdown champion, Chevrolet, in the lead over Ford and Toyota right now. Christopher Bell's team was 0.6 of a second faster on rolling time and 0.2 of a second faster on the pit stop compared to Joey Logano's crew. Here we go as we approach the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone, with Bell and Logano on the front row, Elliott, Blaney, Byron, Busch, Keselowski, Cindric, Barry Chastain the top 10.
I'm surprised Bell took the bottom of this racetrack.
First time we've seen that, isn't it?
It is. It's going to work out for him, though, so he felt like the characteristic of his car was going to work well, running the middle to the bottom of the corner, and he was right.
Chase Elliott on the outside, Blaney alongside for third.
0.6 rolling time. That's on that driver. That's a lot, Kevin.
That is a lot.
That's Reddick up on the outside of Larson as they fight back at 14th.
There you see him 3 wide right there.
Oh, a lot of contact with Barry.
Yeah,
and Cindric.
One was right next to the 2, and they just ran out of room with the 2 and the 21 making contact.
Sometimes this place just isn't wide enough for everybody.
And on these low air pressures like that, and you're 3 wide, when those cars come up off the corner, they all hit that bump. The middle and bottom groove hit that bump, and they just instantly scoot up the racetrack, and the wall is there, so no more room.
Blaney for third on Elliott. There's that contact a little bit ago, top of your screen.
It's run out of room.
Yep. And we're back under caution for a spinning Ross Chastain.
Got left rear damage, guys. I think the tires are up. Left front fascia is messed up.
Third caution flag and the second for cause. And trouble there for Austin Cindric, rolling down pit road with a lot of smoke from the right side and going to his pit stall.
Yeah, you see these cars, one up top, one in the middle. Ross didn't, oh, they just ran out of room. 48 coming up the racetrack, didn't know Ross was going to make it 3 wide right there. Almost the identical situation that they had up front, or on the front stretch.
Definitely got a lot of help out of the 2 cars. Cindric.
I think that going back to Homestead is something that the industry likes. I think being able to know that this championship race is going to be a rotation. You know, I think it's natural that it goes to Homestead and Phoenix. My list would be Charlotte, Las Vegas.
Okay, let me write
to add to that list of a rotation. I think that Charlotte being in that mix with our industry being here would be a big moment for the sport. I don't think there's any question that the weather would be just fine last week of October, first week of November. So, you know, I think it's, you know, it's good for the sport.
Now, this is the last week for NASCAR on Fox on TV this year, but join Kevin every Tuesday and Thursday for what we think is the best podcast in NASCAR, Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour, presented by Echo Park Automotive. All right, let's clean up this crash at lap 113.
Well, we changed our mind, haven't we, Kevin?
Yes, we have.
I don't think it's Alex Bowman. Keep watching Cindric right here on the exit. Didn't really get crowded at all. He just never lifted. Got right into the left rear of Ross Chastain and turned him around. Very aggressive. We saw it. He'd go back to the exit of turn 4 with his own teammate on the outside right here. All three. It was still Chastain, Cindric. You can see Barry's up against the wall, out of room.
Yeah, and that one we even talked about Chastain squeezing him, but that was definitely on the 2 car as well.
Hey, somebody's got to get aggressive.
That's right. In order to make these passes quicker, you're going to have to use the front bumper or the side of that car a little more aggressively, and Austin Cindric was definitely on the side of aggressive for sure.
Well, tonight, as we said, last race for the year on NASCAR on Fox, and a big career comes to a close. After 24 years with us, tonight is audio engineer Doug Wilson's final race. Doug's from Indy, raised in a broadcast engineering family, and has 47 years in the business, including 20 with the Indiana Pacers and more than 20 Indy 500s. A multiple Emmy Award winner. We wish Doug well in his retirement.
12 times.
How about that? All right, how about this restart? Joey Logano is going to get to be on the outside. He's been on the inside most all night to battle Christopher Bell.
Well, we saw Bell do this on the last restart, so he's still pretty confident that his car will turn in the middle of the racetrack or on the bottom in turns 1 and 2. So doesn't seem like the launch is quite as good in the bottom lane, but still thinks his car is better on the middle lane down in turns 1 and 2.
A lot better jump for Logano on the outside this time. Got to come off a 2 in the lead here. He's not going to do it.
Not going to clear him. They're side by side, headed for 3. Even into the corner.
Oh, it rotates the middle good, but Logano holding strong on that outside. Here he comes.
There you see him squeeze him down the racetrack right there. Christopher Bell up the hill in the middle of the corner.
See ya.
Bell sends it in, and they're even again in the middle of turn 4.
If you don't come off of turn 2 in the lead, you're in trouble. Oh, he's going to lean on him.
Not going to matter.
Yeah, Bell's car is good, but when you get that car to launch on the outside of you and you can't use the whole racetrack, as they make contact again, it just doesn't allow you to finish the corner. So Christopher Bell stuck on the bottom of the racetrack, lost that lead on the restart.
So the battle's for 3rd with Blaney on the outside of Chase Elliott. Busch and Byron behind them.
That 12 car, Brian Blaney, has just slowly crept his way forward. Now you see him on the outside of Chase Elliott trying to keep that 3rd position.
And as good as he's been, he's had a tough go at it. Fastest car on the track. A lot of places we went have yet to find victory lane. You give this guy some confidence, momentum, finally get some good luck going his way with a big win at All-Star. Look out the rest of the year.
Well, even with everything that's gone on with Ryan Blaney, you know, they've had fast cars. They've scored a lot of stage points, put themselves in a position, and just seems like time after time after time something happens. Even though the cars are fast, it's hard to be confident when you're not getting the finishes. So we know this night can change the direction of a season, just like it did for Joey Logano last year, and win a championship.
For Blaney, he's going to have to get it done down in 1 and 2, because at the high end of the racetrack, Elliott's done a great job of wrapping the bottom in 3 and 4.
Looks like he's going to need a chiropractor Monday. The way that car is bouncing around off of turn 4, but he's doing a great job in managing that corner. Ryan Blaney's going to have a great run and clear him down the back straightaway.
So suddenly the front 6 or 7 are single file, but only for a moment. Elliott comes right back. Well, and he's got a mirror full of his teammate William Byron.
See Kyle Busch right there in 6th place.
And a little further back, Kyle Larson is creeping his way up into the top 10 inside of Brad Keselowski. That would be for 8th place.
Yeah, we've run 129 laps, so Kyle's probably feeling a lot better about what he's sitting in right now as far as being comfortable and being able to maximize the speed out of that number 5 car.
I love this. It reminds me of a good old dirt track. can slide in there and make the pass. They cross you back over, start to transition all over again.
See the fire out of the pipes right there. Brad had to lift with Kyle up on the outside.
Brad's car doesn't quite roll the center as good as some of the other competitors, and certainly not as good back here in traffic.
And that's what we saw in the heat races yesterday and at the beginning of this race. That 6 car, he was defending himself by being able to roll that top line all the way around the momentum off the corner because they couldn't finish the pass. That was what we were afraid of, that he was going to get in traffic, that tightness would show up, and kind of got buried here.
Fine, as long as you could stay up front. The minute you lose it, you're in trouble.
Speaking of Berry, Josh Berry had caught Brad Keselowski there. They're going to battle. 75th anniversary of the Wood brothers. That's what was celebrated here in pre-race ceremonies, including Michael Waltrip, who won the All-Star race and the Open for the Wood brothers in 1996 in a car painted just like Josh Berry's is tonight. Different sponsor, though. Jamie?
Kyle Larson started 19th. He hadn't even sat in this race car until the first lap of the race, but he took his crew chief, Cliff Daniels' advice when he said, don't worry, we're going to be good, and they have been. Larson telling the team, I feel pretty good here, just not enough lateral grip for him, but they've been adjusting on it with air pressure, and he's going forward.
115 laps to go. No stage racing in the All-Star race. There is no scheduled caution from here on out. However, there is the promoter's option caution, which may be waived at any time before lap 220. We'll see how that plays out. Have a feeling fireworks will be involved. .114 laps to go. Joey Logano leading Christopher Bell by about half a second on Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night. Yeah, we got to do that. That was kind of fun. when North Wilkesboro Speedway was reborn. Put a bunch of Hall of Famers up there.
I was going to say, look at the old school numbers you chose. Yeah. Not bad, buddy.
And here it is right now on lap 147. Joey Logano leading by 3/4 of a second. Now remember, Chevrolet, Ford, and Toyota are battling head-to-head in tonight's manufacturer showdown. For this race within a race, manufacturer teams of the 5 highest qualified cars are scored against just each other, not the entire field. The lowest total finishing positions for one make will determine the winner. Now the race has Ford, Toyota, Ford out front, and Ford has taken the lead in the manufacturer's challenge over Chevrolet and Toyota with 102 laps to go.
I'm really surprised at those Toyotas, Clint. You see Christopher Bell running second, but we hadn't heard much out of any of the rest of them all night.
No, Briscoe in 11th, Reddick in 14th, Hamlin in 16th.
This one's been good.
Very good. Christopher Bell won his heat race. That set the outside lane for the starting lineup tonight. Won it handily. And where's Kyle Larson? 7th place.
He's been really pushing the limits of that upper groove through 1 and 2. Actually slid out of the groove a couple times, but if he ever gets into a rhythm, we've seen him continue to push it up in 3 and 4, but he's all over the rev limiter, so that tells you what kind of run he's getting. Regan?
Well, Kevin, looking at the 12 car, Ryan Blaney, thinking about what he's got going on. Haven't talked a lot about him yet in terms of handling. Very tight all night long, so much so that he's been using the concrete at the bottom of the racetrack to get the car to turn. He has, though, recently been moving up to try and get the car a little better on the high side. They have been making gains on it, so keep an eye on it if they can keep making gains.
Yeah, well, look at this concrete right here. He's not down there right now, but you see that rubber on the white part of the racetrack right there. They'll actually take that left front tire and touch that concrete to help that car rotate.
Last couple laps, Blaney has been equal or half a tenth off his teammate Joey Logano's lap time as he tries to close in from 2.6 seconds back in 3rd. Christopher Bell second for Toyota. Chase Elliott, the first Chevy, in 4th. 4.8 seconds back. There's the gap, 1st to 2nd. Everybody having a great view of Joey Logano's tail lights, much like last year.
Well, Joey Logano's headlights are starting to reach those tail lights of the back of the field, and if we get into lap traffic, that's going to make things act a little bit differently for that 22 car. Traffic definitely makes it a little bit tougher when you have a preferred groove like we have here.
Kyle Busch has been grinding it out tonight. He's been aggressive. He's been making moves, top of the track, bottom of the track, holding 6th place, 7 seconds back, with Larson closing in.
Yeah, Larson's closing in, and he's just continuing to experiment and push the limits.
Look at them lap times. One of the fastest cars on the racetrack, even back here in traffic, and all over the place. He's on the bottom. He's way up on the top.
See that 8 car get into that back straightaway wall right there. Larson looked in there.
Whoa, jumped the cushion a little bit. You saw that dust come out of that right rear. We saw that with Hocevar earlier in the day.
Well, he ran up on Kyle Busch so fast, and Kyle looked in the mirror and said, I got to do something different. So he put his car right where Kyle Larson is making time.
Just about jumped that cushion and put it in the wall.
But these are the types of experiments that make Kyle Larson who he is. As you see the 3 and the 4 car right there running side by side.
12th place, Noah Gragson starting to rumble. Got the fan vote to once again transfer into the All-Star race. And now we see him moving forward against Austin Dillon for 12th place.
Yeah, and you see right behind them, Carson Hocevar, our Open winner. Hasn't made as much ground. I thought he would maybe make a little bit more noise from the back of the field.
Remember, he's been against the wall at least once.
That we've seen.
Yes. Gragson to the bottom, Hocevar to the top against Austin Dillon. 12th place at stake here.
I really like this tire that Goodyear has brought. We took this tire to Bowman Gray seen it be pretty racy here, lays down a lot of rubber. I think that's really helped this particular racetrack widen out because of that soft tire.
I think that's the biggest part of it. Well, why you're seeing this racetrack, we've been here before. This isn't our first time, and this is without a doubt as wide as we've seen this racetrack.
Larson's in the wall, just touched the fence. Sorry, down there in 3 and 4, right in front of this group.
Yeah, sounds like you're watching Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I was. It's pretty exciting to see him doing the things that he's doing, but he had a big moment down there.
Well, he made it back here in time for the All-Star race. Actually flew back to Charlotte this morning after qualifying 21st yesterday for the Indianapolis 500 that you'll see on Fox next Sunday. And then he'll jet down to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 and try to become only the second driver in history to complete all laps of the Memorial Weekend double. The Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. Tony Stewart, the only driver who has done so and completed every lap of both races among the drivers who have attempted it. Tough day Friday as Larson found the wall. And then in qualifying, the first round of qualifying, not great for Larson. They had a lot of downforce in the car just to get a clean set of laps in. Then he went back out, bettered it. 21st is where he will start the 500 on Sunday. 7 times in history, the 500 has been won from 21st on back. Johnny Rutherford, the last to do it.
And now we see Kyle Larson go past Harrison Burton right there and start the process of lapping cars.
.82 laps to go as you watch our aerial coverage of this battle provided by Goodyear. Best seat in the house since 1925. Happy 100th birthday to the Goodyear blimp.
Look at how fast that 5 car ran back down the 8, but there's just nowhere for Larson to go. Same thing with Kyle Busch. Alex Bowman has migrated to that groove that both of these guys are running, and now Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch are stuck behind Alex Bowman running the same lane.
80 to go with Joey Logano leading Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, and Chase Elliott as we go Fox side by side once more. Oh, Brad Keselowski crashed hard in turn 4, and then coming into his pit stall with a bump and a thump, not much left on the right front.
You see at the top of your screen up here.
Yeah, he got loose, it looks like, getting in the corner. You see how far they pushed that groove up into the 3rd lane, and now everybody's chasing it, and he got loose getting in the corner and just slammed into the fence hard when it snapped.
Man, I hate it for him. We're getting closer. We are getting closer.
Well, we've got the speed part down. He had a good weekend from speed. Here we go on the pit road. Regan.
Well, Joey Logano a little bit too loose to start the runs off, but it gets too tight as he goes. They're trying to equate out the amount of laps left in this race with what they just ran, a little bit less than what they just ran. And the 20 car of Christopher Bell needs just a little bit of turn for the restarts, but he does not want to mess with the rear of the car. He feels like the rear of the car is driving well. Jamie?
Alex Bowman pits from 5th. He says it took off better that time, just a little tight in the center to cut both ends of the racetrack. So air pressure adjustment, 4 tires for the Ally 48 there.
2 tires for Kyle Larson, and he's going to beat everybody off pit road.
It's getting interesting.
Kyle Larson gambles. Everybody behind him takes on 4 tires. He's got 2. One week away, the Indianapolis 500 coverage on Fox, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. 2 legends have won the Indianapolis 500 and the Daytona 500. Mario Andretti and A.J. Foyt.
Pretty good names right there, Mike.
5 other drivers have finished top 5 in both those great races. Al Unser, Paul Goldsmith, Dan Gurney, Donnie Allison, and Tony Stewart have top 5s in both of America's biggest races. Well, Kyle Larson with 2 tires is going to be in command on this restart. There is a graph of his night. Joey Logano will be alongside on the inside for the restart. Bell and Elliott, Blaney and Bowman, Briscoe, Busch, Byron, and Dillon are the top 10. That scoreboard's going to be changing awful fast as they put lap 182 up on the board this time around out of 250.
Yeah, you see Logano hang way back on that restart, right on the edge of being too much from a NASCAR standpoint, but Kyle Larson fires it off into turn one, and we'll see how these two tires work out for him.
It was a good move by Kyle, too. He went early because of that. Didn't let him creep to him.
The restart is under review. Remember, Larson, 2 fresh tires. Everybody else has 4. The restart is approved. And Logano wants the lead back.
And you wonder what Kyle Larson's feeling that's different. We know when these cars get that clean air and get up front, they handle a little bit different. Pace changes a little bit. Fire off and start hitting all the rev limiters on, sounds like both straightaways.
Kyle sliding.
But he has the preferred groove.
Oh, he got too high.
And Logano gets the lead. Larson, though, fires it in on the outside of 3, trying to hold even with Logano. Can't do it.
I think he got his tires dirty there, Kevin. Went down the back straightaway, and it didn't turn for him in 3 and 4.
You could see the rubber flying from the camera angle that we had.
Christopher Bell for second now.
Had to lift again.
And I think this is a lot like what we saw in the heat race there, or the open race earlier. These 4 tires compared to the 2 tires that have a ton of laps on them are way better.
Half back up top, ring in the top. Clear. Clear by half. All right, good rhythm here.
And I don't know what kind of position that puts them in now, Clint. With all those laps on the left side tires, you're probably going to see a lot of these guys only do 2 tires as we go forward, because we know we're going to have, I would guess we're going to have another caution with that promoter's caution that is still in play.
But to your point, I mean, what we were running 7th right there. Eventually, you got to gamble a little bit and get you some track position. Yes, he was methodically, slowly getting back up through there, but I think you were going to run out of time and opportunities with the cautions you speak of. You had to gamble sooner or later, and Cliff Daniels thought that was the time.
At 15, this is the most lead changes ever in a NASCAR All-Star race.
Wow.
More than the last 2 All-Star races here combined.
But I do agree, when that caution comes out, now you're going to be at a deficit. The only way that this was going to work out is to have that track position, be in the lead and hold them guys off. But we unfortunately couldn't do that.
We still have the chance of the promoter's caution. And I don't think it's an if, I think it's a when.
I think you're right.
Sometime before lap 220. So let's get a break out of the way, and hopefully we'll be right here when it happens. Joey Logano leads. Christopher Bell trying to close the gap. 50 laps to go. Joey Logano leads. Christopher Bell trying to close in for second. Kyle Larson keeps running the high line to hold on to third. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney are after him. And Michael Waltrip, the 1996 winner of the Winston, NASCAR's original All-Star race for the Wood Brothers, has ascended the flag stand. Something's up. Larry, how many sets of new tires do we have left?
Mike, everybody should have one full set of stickers. And I'm down here going through all the what-if scenarios right now. They pitted and went back racing with 68 laps to go. If that caution comes out somewhere around lap 212, that'll be 30 laps on the tires. If I'm calling the shots, I'm doing right sides only, but I cannot sit here and rule out guys in the middle of the pack. They may roll the dice and just stay out knowing it's going to be a really short run to the end.
250 laps is the distance. 47 to go.
And you see Kyle Larson still up there in that top lane. He's been able to hold on to that third position. Nobody's been able to finish a pass and actually hold his own now, Clint.
Running right up against the wall, too.
Well, we don't have a line to Michael, but Mikey, the field's pretty much single file. I don't think anybody's going to sleep. But on the other hand, maybe this race could use a wake-up call. Love that. The NASCAR All-Star race was created as the Winston. And boy, then when they ran one hot night in 1992, it was really big. That's the jacket that Michael was given when he won it for the Wood Brothers in 1996.
How cool is that? Still fits.
Blaney's tried everything to get past these two. Top of the racetrack, bottom of the racetrack, Kevin. Nothing has worked for him.
Yeah, and the higher that groove goes, the harder it is to finish the pass because those top lane cars just get more and more momentum the further they go up the racetrack. But Blaney, you see him down there on the bottom. That was working for him as we went through the first half of this race, but he's kind of met his match as he's found his way into the top 5. See him up the racetrack now. He's kind of just doing the opposite of whatever Chase Elliott does.
Well, Michael Waltrip, you have only 12 laps left to throw that all-star caution. Lap 220, and it's out of play for the final 30 laps. I'm beginning to think it's not a when, it's an if.
He's wanting some crowd participation. Oh, he's thinking maybe 5 laps.
Well, that will certainly make it a short run to the checkered flag. Logano half a second ahead of Bell. Larson another 1.2 seconds back. Ford leading Toyota and Chevrolet. $1 million to the winner.
He's wanting that flag, guys.
You think he's going to go over there and steal it?
He's looking for it.
I think he better.
Where's that thing at, fellas?
Blaney had a shot again at Chase Elliott. Nothing there. Blaney goes back to the top, continuing that battle.
Yeah, and you see that entry has really opened up into turn 1. See Bell high and Larson right up against the fence.
.38 laps to go. And Blaney finally got to the inside again on Elliott, but nothing there.
No, you see the massive difference in speed right there at the end of the front straightaway from the 2 different lanes.
Bell has gone to the bottom, trying to close in on Logano. He's got it down to half a second. There is 3rd and 4th. Larson backing up. Elliott's going to pass him on the back straightaway. And so is Blaney.
Yeah,
hit the wall, didn't he?
Yeah, Larson hit the wall on the entry into turn 1. He got up too high and it slapped the back.
Michael, you better do it.
And he does. Caution waves. There's the All-Star Promoters caution.
You saw the right rear toe link broke. Oh, look at this, Kevin.
Pyrotechnics all over
Michael
Wilkes County.
has dropped the flag. Michael has dropped the flag.
He really dropped the flag?
No, he really dropped the flag on the front straightaway. It is on the front straightaway.
Oh, no. You had one job.
We tried to get him to tape it to his hand.
I told you guys in a preparation meeting to this, you better tape it to his hand.
And this is why every professional flagman brings a backup yellow flag.
Yeah, but what about that one, Mike?
That one's gone.
It's on the racetrack.
Look, we were at Gateway last year. Michael dropped his phone on the racetrack and lost it. Now he drops the yellow flag on the track. Come on, Mikey, you had one job. He dropped a taco on Denny's trunk. Yeah, drop.
Oh, man. Oh, only Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, you just tried too hard. All right, we're under caution, hopefully, for the last time tonight, but don't bet on it. Caution at lap 216 for Michael Waltrip, drops flag.
That's the first time you've ever written anything like that. Now, I have seen the green flag dropped.
Yes.
I have seen that happen as well.
Yeah, different honorary starters. Somebody, you know, mistimes it. Let's go of it, but
this was getting interesting. Christopher Bell was actually catching him as a leader, Logano.
Yes.
And so that 5 car was on fire too on these 2 tires.
I think that
got a little bit too high in 1 and 2. I was watching Bell and Larson starting to creep in onto leader Logano. All right, Larry, you say 2 tires is your call, right?
No question, but I'm telling you, watch the middle of the pack. We're going to go back racing probably with about, what, 20 to 25 to go? You didn't come here to do anything but win. What do you want? A nice, solid night? Does nothing for you.
And that's the problem with pitting. If half the field decides to stay out and everybody else comes in, you're done.
Austin Cindric gets the free pass. He is the only car 1 lap down with Keselowski and Suarez in the garage. Whoa! The Penske cars stay out.
Only 2. Well, no, got some help. Looks like Hocevar and Chastain, but this is going to be good.
Regan.
Mike, it was a very late call for that 22 car to stay out. They were indecisive halfway down the back straightaway. As for the 20 car, Christopher Bell, the call was Batman. They made the decision very early. Needs a little bit more turn still with the 20 car. Jamie, and trouble there.
Trouble on pit road there, back in Kyle Larson's pit box. Ben Toling, they're coming up with a plan right now to fix it as quickly as possible. You see the right side of the car is raised up, came in and pitted from 5th. Kyle Larson came on the radio and said, sorry, guys.
Well, the collision on pit road involved Noah Gragson, and John Hunter Nemechek had to stop and had to wait for Gragson to back up before he could get in his pit.
This one.
They will come to the green with 28 laps to go. Joey Logano, who has been the best defender of position all year, faces off against his Penske Ford teammate, Ryan Blaney. Here we go.
Well, Blaney got a good restart. We know his car's been good on the bottom of the racetrack right here.
Chastain and Hocevar up there, and Burton. They did not pit. 3 wide.
See Bell, the first one on those 2 tires on the bottom. He's got to make quick work of these guys.
Yeah, we were worried about that right front fender. As you see these cars 3 wide.
Here he comes on the bottom.
Bell against Hocevar. First car with tires is that 20. Look at this log jam.
Kyle Busch trying to make it 4
Blaney's
wide.
really sideways off of 4.
3 wide, 3 wide, 4
He's got
wide
trouble.
here.
He's got left rear tire down.
3 wide middle here, 1 inside.
Most of the field's going to go by Ryan Blaney. They're all chasing Joey Logano. Chastain in second now, and Bell with new tires in third. Gets a good launch off of 2.
He's obviously not down, but he's out.
Yeah, definitely got himself in a position where he was being hit from every side of the car.
Bell's got to make quick work of Chastain. Again, those 2 tires working on no tires. Chastain and Logano.
Yeah,
There he goes.
He got him. All right, here we go, Clint. We've seen.
You have no time.
You have no time, and when you get there, you've got to make something happen. I believe he's got the faster car right now. Obviously, he doesn't have any damage from that pit road incident.
He was catching him slowly but surely before that caution came out by Michael Waltrip. Likes the outside. Here he comes. Don't give him that outside.
Yeah, he's going to have to move up.
Try to cross him over. A lot of momentum.
Joey Logano making that car as wide as possible, but Bell finds room on the inside.
Yeah, and I think that caught Joey Logano off guard. When you get into those positions where you're trying to aero block a little bit.
Look at that car rotate. It's time to move him up, Kevin. He's loose. He's into him.
Can't hold him down.
Yeah,
Contact.
He got loose getting in the corner and slid up into the side of the 22 car.
And that brings Chastain and Alex Bowman into the picture.
There you go. Front bumper, and if they don't work this out, Ross Chastain is going to be there in a hurry.
20 laps to go for $1 million.
Yeah, you can't guard on the bottom for long because Chastain's going to be on the outside. Which one do you guard first? Belton is outside. This is exactly what we're talking about. He's
Big
loose.
slide.
Bowman grinding it out on the bottom. No gain.
Yeah, and if Joey Logano doesn't figure the top of this racetrack out or get up there and at least defend, he's going to have to deal with them again.
But he's got them doing exactly what he needed them to do, heating these tires up. You see Bell really abusing the tires, sliding around. They do not like to get hot, and sliding them around certainly does that.
And now Chastain has to deal with Bowman on the inside. A Ford, a Toyota, and 2 Chevys battling for the All-Star Big Prize. Bowman to third.
Bell's regaining composure on the outside. It's where he wanted to be. It's where he was making some hay before the caution came out.
Yeah, and when you make those mistakes and you get yourself up into the loose stuff, it takes a lap or 2 to get everything off of those tires, and it's definitely equalized up front right now.
Chastain back after Bowman again for third. Boy, the All-Star race is fun. 250 laps. How would you like to see a full-on cup race here?
Oh, man. 400 laps at this racetrack in the middle of the afternoon. Unbelievable how this racetrack has progressed into a multi-lane racetrack in 2 years.
Well, and just think, I mean, we haven't even seen lap traffic really be a part of this race, and you put all of them out there at once, you would certainly see a lot more lap traffic and force these guys off that preferred groove.
All right, here's a quick look at today's big move, sponsored by Pods. And it is Joey Logano's move to secure the lead on the caution flag. and feint to pit road.
Well, you might see again. He's right back to his bumper, guys. There he is, looking to the inside.
They get side by side. That allows Chastain to close in.
He can't be side by side to him. I think you've got to. Oh, this is exactly what he wants.
Oh,
to
he's
get to
there.
that outside.
You see Logano run him up the racetrack.
That's all I needed to see.
And that's all Ross needed to see in his windshield, because now he has a chance.
Well,
Bell likes this outside.
And Chastain is definitely still a contender because of the fact that Joey Logano is not going to be an easy pass.
You're going to have to take it from him. I hate to say that, but if you're going to win this race, you're going to do it off your front bumper. To the outside he goes.
But Logano's clear.
See him moving down. Back into him.
See him use the right side of that car. He's got a half a car length on Joey Logano. Back even down the back straightaway.
Joey's running him down the racetrack. He moved him up.
And Chastain almost ran over Logano in the process.
How bad do you want it? He just showed you.
That's exactly what you have to do to finish these passes.
You better run and hide.
Christopher Bell, who led 18 laps earlier, back to the lead. Chastain trying to take second away from Logano, who's led 139 laps tonight.
Yeah, now you see Chastain get a little bit too high, has to lift in the middle of the corner. But Joey Logano still leaving that outside open. And that's what we talked about, Clinton. He had to figure out how to use that outside lane, or he was going to get exactly what Christopher Bell gave him, and that was passed.
And he's got these people on their feet. I love it. Fantastic racing.
7 laps to go. Bowman and Elliott trying to drive up into the picture. There's your front 5.
Well, you see these packed grandstands here. It has been an electric atmosphere really for all 4 days that I've been at this racetrack. But Christopher Bell has done a great job. And when it was time to go, Clint, and the money was on the line, he let loose on the aggression.
Well, that was going to be the question. Was he willing to do what it took? And he showed us he was. He gave me the opportunity, run him right back down on that outside. Did have the upper hand with tires. Do not forget that. Can't take nothing away from Logano. He was fending them off with old tires.
Well, and you had to play your cards. You had to take a chance to win the race. You heard Joey Logano talk about it in his team meeting. We aren't here to finish second. But right now, it looks like he might finish second.
But Bell's not giving up on that top. He's making me nervous down there in 1 and 2. You got a pretty good lead. Give yourself a little bit of buffer.
He's about 1/10 of a second a lap faster than Joey Logano right now. Remember, this race must take the checkered flag under green.
It's a good point.
Good job. Keep that exit. No pressure.
Well, Christopher Bell has done a great job all weekend. Won his heat race. Put themselves up in the front of the pack. In contention all day today. But when it has counted, he has done what he had to do.
Move down just a little bit that time. I agree. Be safe. Bring it around here. This is an official lap, though. Just like you said, Mike has to finish under green.
White flag for Christopher Bell's Joe Gibbs Toyota. Logano falling into the clutches now of Ross Chastain. They're only about a car length, maybe 2 apart, as they come to turn 3 for the final time. And in his 5th All-Star try, Christopher Bell wins $1 million.
That's a good race.
That was a great race. Unbelievable All-Star night. Great job, Christopher Bell.
He becomes.
Great job, buddy. Way to drive your ass off. Find me some marbles.
He did that.
Proud of that effort. Way to get better from last year. Great job, BT.
He becomes the 27th different driver to win the All-Star race and the 3rd to win it here at North Wilkesboro. His previous best All-Star finish was 10th at Texas in 2022. And he breaks the stranglehold of Hendrick Motorsports and Team Penske on the All-Star win. They've captured the last 5. It's the third All-Star win for Joe Gibbs Racing and the third for Toyota. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin preceded Bell in All-Star victory lane. And it's the first All-Star win for Toyota since 2017 in Charlotte.
Man, a lot happened.
Christopher Bell doing an Alan Kulwicki style Polish victory lap to salute the crowd before turning it around at the start finish.
Burn it down. I've lost him, guys.
He was doing some really good donuts right there. That left front was just pinned in one spot, doing perfect circles.
Denied a chance to compete in the championship 4 last year due to the last lap at Martinsville. But Christopher Bell, boy, is he going to be a championship contender this year and in the future.
Just keeps getting better and better.
Christopher may be aware that 3 of the last 5 All-Star winners have gone on to win the championship the same year.
No doubt. One happy Christopher Bell. Everything came together. What a car. What a call to come down pit road and take right sides. How did it all unfold for you to be an All-Star winner, $1 million bucks richer?
North Wilkesboro, how about that one? Woo! Yeah, that right there is absolutely incredible. And North Wilkesboro, best short track on the schedule.
Are you saying you won a points race?
Let's go!
Hey, I have to ask you about these guys right here. It all started yesterday with that unbelievable stop, the 2-tire stop. Almost hit your guy. You guys pulled it off and won the heat race. What do you have to say about the pit crew and what they're doing this year for you?
Man, they're the best. I mean, there's nothing else to say. And this sport can be so humbling because behind the car, behind the wheel, you're just a small part of success. And these boys right here, Adam Stevens on the pit box, all the mechanics, all the engineers that put this thing together, they're the big picture. I'm the guy that gets to sit up here and talk to you and take pictures, but without them, I'm nobody. And I owe it all to these guys.
Perfectly said. Congratulations.
Oh, my God.
Joey Logano brings it home in second place tonight. Joey, I know second's not what you wanted, but you're at a tire deficit there at the end of that race. And what a heck of a battle between you and Christopher Bell. That was a blast to watch.
I'm glad you had a blast. I'm pissed off right now. I just, dang it, we had the fastest car. The Shell Penzo Mustang was so fast. And, you know, you get the, I don't know, trying to choose my words correctly on the caution situation. And obviously I got bit by it, so I'm the one frustrated, obviously. But, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I felt like the fall off wasn't too bad as the sun went down and he had 6 cars or so stay out with us. I thought maybe we can hold them off, but the 20 had a good enough restart to clear too many of them too fast. And I couldn't get away in time. It took me 6-7 laps to get my car up and rolling again. And I did all I could do to hold them off, and he got under me and just released the brake, gave me no option, right? And he kind of just ran me up into the wall. And if I could have got to him, he was going around after a move like that. I just couldn't get back to him. It's just too much to try to make up with the tire deficit. So just frustrated after you lead so many laps and the car's so fast and you don't win. It hurts quite a bit.
Got to ask you then, with the caution at the end there, I know you weren't a fan of that and how that came out, but maybe a points race here and no cautions like that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm all about no gimmicks with the caution. I'm all about that. I'm a little
me and Marcus Smith aren't seeing eye to eye right now, okay? I got to have a word with him. Good job tonight, Joey. Thanks.
Thanks, Regan. Now finishing positions have been tallied. And Chevrolet has the lowest cumulative score, making them our manufacturer's showdown winner. Chastain led for the 5 designated Chevrolets that were part of the manufacturer's showdown. Well, this does it for NASCAR on Fox for this season. A little shorter than it's been in past years, but wow, talk about going out with a bang.
Yeah, we went out with a bang. That was an absolutely phenomenal race, and you heard Christopher Bell say it there. Best short track on the circuit. I hope we can watch a points race here one day in the middle of the day for 400 laps. But it was an unbelievable event. The racetrack did a great job, and tonight they put on a great race. And I believe if the caution didn't come out, I still think Christopher Bell was going to get there with the way that he was rolling that outside.
Well, and honestly, I mean, the caution, it really wasn't a gimmick. That 5 car was wounded, and that caution was coming out. He's going to go back and see that Logano, but hats off to this facility. The resurgence of this racetrack has created some awesome racing, and it's actually just gotten better, right? The track aged. As soon as I got here this weekend, I saw how gray the track was. I was like, man, this place is aged. That was part of the plan. The aggregate in the asphalt is all part of the plan. This place will continue to get better. You put them all on this racetrack, we've got something. Easy for us to get greedy as race car drivers.
Wait for another year. Yeah, wait for another year. Another year's worth of age. This place is going to do nothing but get better every single year.
Kind of sad, guys. Now what do we do?
I've got plenty to do. I don't know about you. I'm going racing in 2 weeks.
Well, our thanks to Chuck McDonald, Darren Foster, our entire crew for this NASCAR on Fox season, and we can't wait to see you once again in Daytona next February. But first, we'll take a break and have more coverage from Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night here at North Wilkesboro. Christopher Bell, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Toyota take down the $1 million prize.
Next week, it's a Memorial Day weekend tradition at Charlotte Motor Speedway, including the Crown Jewel Coca-Cola 600, Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern on Prime.
Welcome back to North Wilkesboro Speedway. Christopher Bell is taking the lift up to victory lane. He'll be riding in here in just a second to celebrate the $1 million win in the All-Star race at this historic venue, an incredible race that we just saw. Josh Sims alongside Jamie McMurray. Jamie, I don't have words to describe how great of a race we just saw.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It's the best All-Star race in a while. The track, I know Clint and Kevin were praising it up there, but it was just amazing to see how wide the track got. The cautions fell just about right where we had some alternate strategies. It was awesome to see Christopher get the restart he needed and then the battle with Joey Logano. I know Logano's frustrated to let over half the race. Bell under 30 laps, but he was fast when he needed to be, and I'm kind of with Clint and Kevin. It appeared that the 20 was running down the 22 either way.
I think it's awesome to be up here in victory lane as the team rolls in here and gets to celebrate this big-time victory. But what do you think this means for Christopher, by the way?
Well, what a season he's having. I mean, he's solidifying himself as just an incredible driver, been able to have 3 points wins already this season, now the All-Star race, and had to earn it. I mean, that battle with Joey Logano was pretty awesome. It honestly looked like Chastain might be in the best position if those two get together. But, yeah, it's been fun. We've been here 3 times with him this year, getting to see this team celebrate, and it's been pretty awesome.
All right, let's check in with our Regan Smith back down in pit road.
Well, Ross Chastain starts third, finishes third tonight at the All-Star race. You guys went for no tires at the end there, and for a moment it looked like maybe it was going to work out as all the battles started happening.
Regan, I had no tires left. I got spun out earlier and had to use a set, so all I had was the rights that I slid on. The lefts were all torn up, so they couldn't find much of a flat spot, but I knew that I had put a hot spot in them, so I didn't want that. So we talked about it for our Busch Light team. I feel like that was definitely the right call. And there's just, once we get up to the front, we can tend to stay there a little better. We couldn't at the beginning of the race, though, so we did make good adjustments. There is something knocked out of alignment with the car. Once I did get spun, I got hit in the left side, both tires, so the wheel was off, but once I had a little bit of track position, I was able to pass some cars after that, so strong night, some definitely bright spots for Trackhouse on all 3 cars, and glad we were able to close it out with a good finish. And I just needed those guys to hit each other a little bit harder. I was just hoping, like, come on, guys, just do it, and they didn't quite. So we had a shot.
You guys in this one car keep finding ways to get finishes. We've been talking about it for the past 4 or 5 weeks, but now it seems like things are getting better early in the weekend. Is that a positive note as we head into the second part of the season here?
We still unloaded really tight on Friday, so we needed the whole practice and then the night to think about it and come back to the heat race Saturday to make it better, and the group did. I need more practice. I need time to give inputs. Our DIL, we're whipping that thing as hard as we can, but man, I want more, and it's a tool, and we're using it, and I'll be at GM Wednesday when they open it back up to get ready for 600 miles at Charlotte this week. Put a lot of effort in already, and looking forward to more.
All right, thanks, Ross.
And Chase Elliott brings it home 5th in the All-Star race tonight. I don't know, it was a good race. All the fans seem pretty happy. What's your take on how things went tonight?
Yeah, it looks like an amazing race for the win. I wish we could have been a part of it there, but yeah, hopefully it didn't disappoint. I thought the race was much better, this year than last year, which was really cool to see, and had another great crowd here, great environment for an All-Star race. I hope everybody enjoyed that, and yeah, our prime Chevy was really pretty good. I thought that we were in the mix, needed just a little bit, I think, to be there with Joey and the 20, but we were solid. I thought better than we've been, and just a nice step in the right direction. Just good solid night. Obviously needed a little bit more, but overall a pretty solid day.
I know you probably already been asked this weekend, but the question is, do you want a points race here?
I don't see why not. I think it's plenty capable of hosting, and obviously the crowd seems extremely receptive to the idea too. And I think as long as whatever NASCAR decides on that, I'm good with. I think they put on a good race tonight for sure, so it's hard to argue against that, and we'll see what they do next year.
Well done. Thanks, Chase.
Well, some great perspective there from Chase Elliott. Christopher Bell celebrating in victory lane. Plenty more post-race coverage coming up after the break. Saturday, it's baseball night in America, featuring two of the biggest stars in baseball. Shohei Ohtani leads the Dodgers against Juan Soto and in the Mets, or Guardians take on the Tigers. Check the local listings for the game in your area. Saturday, 7 Eastern on Fox. Let's check in with Jamie Little back on pit road.
William Byron brings it home 6th, led 12 laps there. And I talked to Rudy Fugle before the race, and he said, short tracks haven't been the best for us, so you guys are trying something new. How did you feel it worked?
We were better. I mean, definitely, there's still more room to go for sure. You know, we were definitely better throughout the weekend. I felt like we were really competitive there at the start of the race. So whether it was just the potential, you know, that we had or just kind of keeping up with the racetrack, I'm not sure. But overall, just good step in the right direction for sure. Appreciate Valvoline, Chevrolet, all the people back at the shop. So it's good. It's just, yeah, just continue to hopefully improve. And, you know, short tracks have been our Achilles heel. So trying to get back to kind of how we were in 22.
William, you guys are in the middle of a 28 straight week stretch. How nice is it to have this weekend, sleep in your own bed? What does that do for you?
Oh, it's nice. I mean, it's a grind, so it's more of a grind for the team guys. You know, they've been here all weekend, so yeah, it's nice to have a couple races close to home. I think it makes the desire to do well even higher, especially for me being from Charlotte. So I know we have the 600 circled, so hopefully next weekend we can be really strong and also run an Xfinity race. So excited for that. Thank you.
Have a good week.
Well, thanks a lot, Jamie. And I think we're hearing a lot of the drivers say it. We heard Kevin say it in the booth. It would be great to have a points race here at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, that's kind of been the topic tonight, everybody talking about that. And I think it's fair to say that short tracks have been a little bit of a struggle the past couple of years. But what we saw tonight with how wide the racetrack got and the amount of tire fall up they had, it was just about right. And I think when you can get all the cars on the track, that only would get better. So it'd be great to see one come here. You just have to figure out who's going to give up that race in order to have a points race here.
I thought for a while it was going to be Joey Logano, a little deja vu, but that was the great thing about that promoter's caution. Maybe not for him, but it brought the field back together. We had some different strategies that played a factor in the end.
Yeah, I mean, he was sour about that, but only as expected. He said that in the interview. He's like, listen, it bit us. We all knew that was coming, though. I mean, everybody knew that we were going to get a caution, and it's ironic the 5 car actually had hit the wall right before that. It looked like it maybe would bring a caution out.
You know, I don't usually cut you off, but Coach is here, so I'm going to tell you.
He's going to take priority over
he's going to take
mine.
priority.
Come on in here.
Congratulations, first of all, Coach.
You guys are the key you get on this deal, believe me.
So listen, you've been over there talking to sponsors already in Victory Lane.
And it's hugely important for our sponsors. We have Mobile on the car. Ream has been a huge partner for this car for a long time. Appreciate JR, Chris, everybody at Ream. And then Stanley Black & Decker, just a huge deal for us there. Tony Merritt and everybody there, we just appreciate them so much. And so the sponsors play such a huge role in this. All right, I got to tell you the truth. We've had the toughest time winning this race. It's been unbelievable. I think that's only our third, and we've tried about 30 times.
Well, Coach, at what point?
I told them we spent $10 million trying to win $1 million.
That's not a very good balance.
Well, Coach, at what point did you feel Christopher had what it took to get the win here tonight?
I felt like he was going to be strong. He told me before the race it's one of the best cars, he said, I think I've ever had. And he and Adam are really good. Being up front, starting up front, our pit crew got us to second on the pit crew challenge. So I think all that kind of put us up front. But hey, Joey's up there. You got a lot of great cars up front. I saw the 5 coming. You never know what all's going to happen with all that. But it was just a big night for us. Really appreciate it. Huge for our sponsors, huge for us. Appreciate everybody out there, all the fans. I think the fans probably are going to give us a good reaction to the race too.
Yeah, it was awesome. This track is interesting because you're so close to the racetrack. Also, you can really feel the fans. You have had some incredible drivers at Joe Gibbs Racing over the year. Christopher Bell, though, stands out. What is it about him that makes him so special in your eyes?
Well, I was saying that when Christopher came with us the first year of his COVID, it was awful. We were putting him in cars he had never made a lap in.
Right.
You know, and so he went through all that, and he went through it the right way. He really did. And his perseverance, staying after it, I think him and Adam have really teamed up. It's great. And so I think Adam putting together everything there, making that call for 2 tires, I think they're a great team. They won 3 earlier, and so we kind of been in a little bit of a pause here, so this was a thrill for us. I got to tell you, big deal. This thing's hard to win. I just tell everybody out there. So we'll celebrate this.
Well, congratulations, Coach. We appreciate your time. We'll let you go out there and celebrate. Let's check in with America's crew chief, who's with the race-winning crew chief.
Well, Josh, I am with Adam Stevens. Adam, it's been a great weekend. Started on the outside of the front row. Looked a little bit off in the beginning, but at the end of the day, 33 laps on your tires. You made that call to do right sides only. 5 others stayed out. What did you think at that point?
I wasn't really sure. You know, I really felt like tires would have an advantage, but I really felt like we'd restart a little bit closer to the front. And when Joey jumped out there, I was pretty nervous, to be honest. But Bell did such a good job making hay very early in that run, and I think that was the difference.
Adam, you've got the 3 wins. You obviously come here and win the All-Star race. We still got a long way to go. We're a third of the way through 2025. Where do you see this 20 team right now?
We're strong. We need to get a little bit better on the intermediates, and I think our short track program and road course program is the class of the field. So we need to check a couple more boxes to be elite.
Well, I do need to say 2-time All-Star winning crew chief. He did win it back in 2017 with Kyle Busch, Josh.
Well, appreciate that, Larry Mack. Plenty more celebration coming up from North Wilkesboro. Christopher Bell and the 20 team take home the All-Star race. We'll have more coverage coming up after this. Welcome back to North Wilkesboro. The All-Star race is in the books. And here's a look at what we got coming around the turn. We got the Truck Series race from Charlotte on Friday at 8:30 p.m. on FS1. Remember, next weekend, the Indianapolis 500. That is on Sunday. Coverage for that begins at 10 a.m. on Fox. And then we have NHRA from New England, June 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Christopher Bell continues to celebrate here in Victory Lane. You know, Jamie, we talked a lot heading into this race about what it can do to turn a team's season around, a guy like Brad Keselowski. Well, I was going to say, what can it do for a guy for Christopher Bell where the confidence had to already be through the roof? But we've talked about the number of drivers that have won the All-Star race and gone on to win the championship later that season. Can he be one of them?
Oh, I mean, without a doubt, the 20 team's been good at every type of racetrack. I mean, he's an all-around, like his ability he can win at a road course, a short track, a mile and a half, a super speed. He can win anywhere. And it's fun to get in here, Josh, you know, and be able to watch kind of the interaction between the driver and the team. I thought Coach Gibbs calling sponsors in victory lane. I mean, it's amazing. It shows you how important all of it is and what a team effort it is. I saw Adam Stevens over there talking to all the guys. I mean, he's just an exceptional crew chief. And Coach, you know, told us, like, those two guys have meshed and they've really hit it off. And with Christopher, it wasn't like a sure thing right away. He talked about having a little bit of struggles, but boy, the 20 team at this point in his career and in this season, they're basically, I mean, they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams right now.
And that's the big key right there. You say team, because we can't forget that when Christopher was out there celebrating and doing that post-race interview, he talked about the team and how the pit crew had a great weekend. Had a great season all year long. Can you talk about the importance of just team? Some people forget about the importance of team when it comes to racing.
Yeah, well, I mean, this race is all about that, right? The way that you qualify, running a qualifying lap, and also coming down pit road. They did an exceptional job on Friday when we were here. And then, you know, it's about making the right decisions on, do you do 2 tires, do you do 4 tires? Seems easy, right? But until that pressure is put on you. And then the fact that, you know, they didn't take a chance of staying out at the end. I thought more cars would stay out, knowing how when it gets down to the end of these, you could get caution after caution. And if you get enough cars staying out and they get 2 or 3 wide in front of you, you can't go anywhere. So, I mean, you know, listen, when it's going your way, it's going your way. And right now, that's what Bell and Adam Stevens and all of Joe Gibbs Racing have going for them.
Well, you know, this is our last Cup Series race on Fox for the season. So what are you looking forward to as we head into this second half, these summer months, and the rest of the year?
Well, I'm looking forward to a break, Josh, is what I'm looking forward to. But on the racing side, I mean, we've got a lot of road courses coming up over the next I think we have 6 road courses maybe between that and Speedway racing over the next 14 weeks. So a lot of different type racing. And the summertime, you always see somebody get hot. Who is that guy going to be this year?
Yeah, and that is the big question. Well, it was a great night out here. Christopher Bell gets a chance to celebrate. How did you celebrate when you won the $1 million?
Josh, I drank about 6 ounces of champagne and I was drunk. Okay, so that was, I tried to live it up, but that's about all I could tolerate.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, hey, Christopher Bell, I'm sure he's going to find a great way to celebrate it. Got a great team around him. But we appreciate everybody for joining us for All-Star Race. Christopher Bell takes home the win, and the 20 team. Remember, of course, we got the Truck Series race next Friday on FS1 at 8:30, and we can't forget the Indianapolis 500 is on Fox next Sunday as well. We appreciate you for joining us. Have a great night, everyone.
The top of the mountain, climbed all the way up and never looked down. If the road wasn't rough, we might not have found the blood and some guts and thousands of hours. We welcome you now to our arena. If you don't know right now, it's hard to beat us. You can tell by our demeanor how hard we leaning. You will remember that when you see it in lights. We are the champions. We are the champions. We will fight through the pain. We'll be legends tonight. We are the champions. We are the champions.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced,